Hey friends, I am so excited that you're watching this video because if you are, then you have my signature preset in your hands. And I wanted to do this video to show you 7 different lighting situations with just my one preset applied. Now, I created this preset to have the Lightnary style with those gorgeous film greens, the creamy skin tones, the deep dimension within the darks, and also having bright whites to make your image pop. That's just how I wanted my images to look. So I created this preset so that you are only needing to use the basic panel to make adjustments. I'm a busy mom of 4 kids and I don't have time to go through 10 different panels, 100 different sliders, or have multiple presets with a bunch of different enhancements that I have to choose from. It was wasting me time. It was wasting me money trying to find the perfect preset. And so that's why I created my own. I use this one preset on every single image that I do, whether it's in natural light or in flash, or it's outside or it's inside. And I've just picked these 7 random photos with the different lighting situations so that you can see that it is possible to have one preset for everything and only use the basic panel to make adjustments. So let's get started. I have a Bridal Details image right here. This was shot indoors with a window to the left of me. I'm going to go ahead and apply my signature. And immediately you're going to see it in the color panel. I have adjusted all of the sliders already to make those creamy skin tones and those gorgeous greens pop. So whenever you see your image right after you put the preset on, if you see that the colors change, don't freak out. Go ahead and start editing using the basic panel. So immediately I'm going to up the exposure. And then I also feel like I'm going to warm this image up a little bit, and that's all I would do for this. I think this looks perfect. So let's do before and after. Boom. Super simple. All right, let's go to this next image. This was shot in a closet. Okay, there was 0 windows, no natural light, and I had a flash on top of my camera. And I always shoot a little bit to the warm side. I think my eye just normally sees that on my camera. So you're gonna see me pictures. So with this image, we're gonna go ahead and apply the signature preset. And immediately you're gonna notice the colors change a little bit, but don't freak out. We're gonna start lightening it up. And already it's looking better. And then, like I said, I'm going to cool this down. And I am watching the whites of her dress as well as her skin. So I'm also going to take the pinks down just a little bit. And again, I'm watching her skin. And that's looking so much better. And then from here, I'm going to add a little bit more. I think I'm going to pull up the shadows just a tad. Up the blacks just a little bit. Maybe pull down the highlights just a tad because I see a little bit of highlight right here in her dress. Pop those whites just a tad bit more. And then I'm going to up the exposure just 1 or 2 more notches. And oh, I think that looks beautiful. Let's do a before and after. I mean, you guys, that's insane. There it is. Okay, let's keep going. This is obviously a sparkler exit. So this was lit with my flash in front of them, and then I also have a kicker flash behind them, pointed to them. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the preset and watch the greens. See how it automatically changes those greens. So from here, I think this looks great just with the preset applied, but I might up the exposure just a tad. And yeah, I would leave it at that. I think that looks beautiful. Do a before and after. Boom. Beautiful. Okay. Here we go. This is a senior session. This was shot, it was an overcast day. And so, yeah, there was really no sun anywhere to be found, but it was, obviously natural light. Let's go ahead and apply the preset. That looks great. If you notice, like, it is light and airy, but it also has that deep dimension that your images to look flat. And I think a lot of light and airy photographers have an issue with that. They overexpose the image whenever they're using the exposure, and there's no deep dimension in the darks. So we always want to kind of look out for that. So all I did was up the exposure, and I feel like it's a little blue, and when you shoot on overcast days, you are going to notice that. So I'm going to warm it up a little bit, and then I feel like I'm going to pull down the pinks. I'm going to zero it out because I feel like I see a little bit in his skin. And yeah, I think that looks great. Let's do a virtual copy and reset because I really want to see these two side by side. Yeah, there we go. Before and after. I love it. Okay, so let's keep moving on. This is an engagement session, and this was shot about 3 hours before sunset. So you notice a lot of spotty lighting on the ground. The sun is coming in through here. And just the raw image, it looks really flat. So we're going to apply the signature preset. All of a sudden, you notice their skin tones go creamy. Those greens lighten up. And let's see. I think I'm going to pull down the pinks because I feel like I see a lot of pink. And I think I'm going to warm it up just a tad. And I'm going to pop those whites a little bit because I still feel like it's a little flat. So I'm going to pop the whites, and then I'm going to pull down the shadows just a tad, just to put a little bit more dimension, like in his coat and his hair. And I am loving that. Let's create a virtual copy, and let's do a side-by-side. Whoops, let me reset this virtual copy. There we go. There we go. Okay, so here's the raw image, and this is just a few tweaks after the preset. And that looks gorgeous. Okay, so here's a fun one. Okay, so this is a senior session. I'm going to go ahead and straighten this up because this is bothering me. This is a senior session, and he really, really wanted this image. He wanted this train to be in the background. He wanted to park his car right in the middle of this kind of abandoned road. And I told him, I'm like, look, dude, we can't face the sun. And he's like, no, this is exactly what I want. So he is facing the sun. I mean, this is probably 2 hours before sunset, but he, you can see, is facing the sun. So I wanted to show you in full sun what the preset does. So adding the preset, all of a sudden I really notice all the colors just pop in, which looks great. But I'm going to go ahead and up the exposure just a little bit. And I'm going to pull down the contrast just so it's not as contrasty. I'm pulling it down just a little bit. And I'm going to increase the shadows. And that looks perfect. It's light and airy with deep dimension, and it looks great. Let me pull down the highlights just a bit for his face. And I think I might cool it down just a little bit. And that's it. And let's do a before and after. And there we go. Full sun, raw image with the preset applied. Amazing. Okay, almost done. So here is an image where the sun is right behind her, and this was a bouquet shot. So this is what I would consider backlit, okay? So we're gonna apply the preset. So she's standing in the sun, but we don't want the flowers to be overexposed. Like, oh my gosh, these colors look a little wonky, but that's okay. When we lighten it up, you'll notice those colors soften up. I'm gonna up the shadows just a little bit. It's looking great. I'll pull down the highlights just a tad, and I think I might even pull down the contrast just a tiny, tiny bit so that it's not too contrasty. Up the blacks, and I think that looks beautiful just like that. Let me take down some pinks. My camera always pinks for whatever reason. I shoot Nikon, and so I'm constantly pulling down the pinks. So let's create a virtual copy so you can see a before and after. And here we go. Beautiful. That looks perfect. And I'm super happy with that. So that is just my 7 different lighting situations. And I literally use the same preset for every single shoot, every single lighting situation. And I created it so that you only have to work up here and you don't even have to look at all of this. So like I said, I'm so excited that you have this preset in your hands. You're a part of our Brittany Bruce Education Facebook group so that you can share your before and afters and ask any questions. I am there every single day going live. So let us know that you have the preset in your hands and that you love it. And I would love to see some of your successes and some of your images once you're done.